Welcome to the All Things Performance Podcast. We got a good one today. I am excited to have Dillion Winfrey in the building, and also Coach Siaha Burley. How y'all doing today, man?
Doing good, man.
You guys doing all right, man?
Yes,
Good to see you, man. We got some arena football players and coaches in the building. The first one ever. You know what I'm saying? So how y'all feel about that? Y'all the first, man.
Go ahead.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do podcasts, and you got some great things going on. I'm sure you've had some great guests here, so I'm excited to get going.
Yeah, man. Hey.
You know, I'm excited, man. This something new, so man, I'm interested to do this, man. Let's do it.
Absolutely. We got a DB in the house, so I know you ain't scared. And we
Come
got
on
a
now.
coach, you know what I'm saying? So I know you ain't scared.
Right.
So, man, God bless y'all, man. Welcome again. So we got Coach Siaha Burley, and we also have Dillion Winfrey. Dillion, I'm going to start with you as a player, right? You know, when you start looking at arena football is a little bit different. There's some adjustments that you have to make from playing on that big field, right, in the timing and the tempo to a smaller field. What would you say is the biggest adjustment that a player has to make when you make that transition?
The biggest adjustment that the player has to make, probably have to say, man, if just your awareness. You have to, man, that feels small. You got the walls. You got to be aware, man, because everything shrinks. So those windows get a lot smaller, man.
Yeah.
So when you're a receiver, you got to understand the timing has to be a little bit better. When you're a DB, your breaks got to be so much quicker, a lot faster, man. I tell guys all the time, when I go back out there and do one-on-ones on the outdoor field, I feel like I got all day coming out of those breaks, man. You in indoor. Man, you a step late. It could be a touchdown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you would say processing speeds are way faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like that it almost goes unnoticed sometimes too, man. Because a lot of people see arena sometimes as a developmental league.
Yeah.
And man, it's some cats that can play, man.
Yeah.
And it helps you when you go back outdoors. So
Yeah.
man, I think it needs a little bit more light and on getting guys out. There's some guys who can play, man.
No doubt. No, and I definitely want to talk to you all about that more today because you bring up a point that is I want to know. You know, I mean, this is a legitimate league that's been around for a long time. Coach Burley, you've been around as a player, now as a coach. And one of the things that I wanted to ask, just for me personally, and for some people listening in the audience, you know, arena football, to your point, Dillion, people need to get exposure. People need to get seen. And when you look at arena football from a coaching standpoint, are there lifers in terms of the coaches? Is there a lot of turnover? Are there some people who've been there for a long time that says, you know what, no, we're going to hang our hat on this league that we've created and be proud of it? Like, what does that look like for coaches?
Yeah, there's definitely coaches that have been around the game for a long period of time, had a lot of success. You know, our head coach being one of them, had a lot of success in this league. I've been around the game, coaching, playing since 2001.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've been in arena football lifer, so to speak. You know, not to say I'll be here forever, but you know, there's guys that have definitely dedicated a long period of time to mastering, you know, this game, and it's its own profession. It really is. Like Dillion was talking about, it's its own profession. It doesn't have the financial, you know, backing that maybe the NFL and some of those have. But when you talk about the players and the coaches, the time they put in to become experts at what we do. It's definitely a profession in itself.
Awesome. So Arizona Rattlers, you're a legend. You played here. People know your name here. Talk to us about some other legends that people don't know about, especially within the Arizona Rattlers organization.
Well, I came from a time as a player here when you know the championship started. You know, before the era of Kevin Guy, you know, being a great head coach and a lot of championships. It was Danny White back then.
Yep.
And Danny White went to 3 straight championships and won, I believe, 2 as well. So that's when the legends of Arizona kind of started with the Cedric Bonners and the Hunky Coopers and the Randy Gatewoods and those type of players. And it was a 2-way game back then. So it was definitely different in a sense because they were 2-way. Guys could do it on both sides of the ball, but also that was when the NFL was involved a little bit more. The John Elways, the John Bon Jovis, and some of those big money franchises and owners where they were making a lot more money, so they stayed around the game as a player a lot longer. The turnover for the majority is a lot quicker now as players. And we have a rule where you can only have 7 players on your roster that are vets. So everybody outside of that has to be within 3 years of leaving college. So the turnover because of that rule is a lot different. Where you had, myself, I played 8 years. Some of those guys played 10 years. So just the knowledge of the game, the veteran numbers was a lot higher back then. So, but again, because the pay was a lot higher back then, it allowed you to make a lifestyle out of it. So that was one of the biggest factors. But that's when it all started, with the Arizona Rattlers and some of the legends back then that people don't hear about as much, but definitely, are legends.
Yeah, I love it, man. Those names, when you say those names, I was like, dang, Shedrick Bonner, man, Punky Cooper. I remember watching y'all on Channel 45, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those of y'all in Phoenix know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, so Dillion, question for you. What's one thing that you get in arena football that you do not get in the NFL? Like, we see this on the NFL, we see this in the league, but y'all don't get that here with the arena football. What's one thing that you would say?
One thing that we get here that the NFL doesn't get?
Yeah. What experience, what facet of the game do you get? I know it's a fast-paced game like you alluded to, but if you really think about it, like, what's one thing that you get with the arena that you do not get in the NFL?
Probably the fan involvement, man. They can touch us, those NFL guys, man. They're not signing autographs. There's so much money invested, man. They kind of stay away a lot. But man, we with our fans. We're in the community, going crazy. It's a lot of people that I can call right now and they'll pick up the phone for me, man. I don't know, man. It's got to be those fans, man. It's times I went over the wall a few times, man, and hurt some fans, man. They DM me and saying, "Oh, it's cool." They show me a bruise or something. Hey, but I'm okay.
Yeah. As long as it ain't trying to sue you, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But it's part of the game.
Yeah, man.
Nobody say to sit on the front row.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But that's crazy. It's kind of like the WWE almost, man. You go out there and get a couple drinks in you and watch that game, man. You'll be surprised, man. You guys get to smacking that wall and jumping over and stuff. You got the cannon going off. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I love it. And like fashion coach, what would you say is a gem, right? Or some gems that go along with arena football that you don't see in other sports leagues? Dillion was talking about fan involvement. They're close to the fans. What are some other things as a coach, even as a player, that are very special that you don't see in some of the other leagues, particularly like the NFL?
I think our game is a lot faster pace, and so the action that you're going to get when you go to an arena football game and watching our game, it's just a lot faster scoring. It's sort of like a basketball game. The other football leagues, play clocks are longer. We got a 25-second play clock. There's 45 seconds, so plays are happening a lot faster. The tempo's a lot faster. So I just think the overall action of it, every time I have people come for the first time, they loved it, they enjoyed it, and it's because of the action you're going to get. And we throw the ball a lot, so big plays are happening. That'd be the main thing. But like he said too, just being so close to the game, being able to go down with your kids and talk to your favorite player, face to face after the game. So those are the type of things that make our game special.
I love it. And then like fashion, I got a question for you, Coach, because you played for several years, and now you're a coach on the administrative side of things. What would you say are some things with arena football that have been pillars, right? Like, you look back and you say, man, we still do that. But at the same time, how has the game evolved as well? Like, man, this is we came a long way from doing that over there. What would you say to those two areas?
I think the game has coaches that have been around it now for a long period of time, where when I was playing, it was still sort of a young game. So, you've got ex-players that play the game. Back in the day, our coaches didn't necessarily play the game.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
That's
there was a few, but there were a lot of coaches that came in. I remember the quarterback, Steve DeBird, I think his name was.
From the Chiefs.
Yes,
quarterback for the
came
Chiefs.
in the league, tried to coach it, couldn't coach it because he didn't play it.
Yep.
So a lot of coaches now have played the game, so you're getting a different expert level. of experience there. So I think that's one of the things that transitions to these players a lot better. They're getting knowledge from guys that played the game.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that I see different. But I mean, overall, the guys that have been around the game, have, not only as a player but as a coach for years, this level of coaching, I mean, we put the hours in the NFL puts in. I mean, we really do. So I mean, it's just. Back in the day, I think some of those coaches, I played for Jay Gruden, some of those guys.
Wow.
I mean, it was like a beer league back then.
Yeah.
We come in there for an hour and a half, get it in, get it out. There's no meetings afterwards. You know what I mean? It was, we've got meetings before practice, we got meetings after practice, we got weights, we got, it wasn't ran like that back in the day. So I just think the time we put in now is really another level.
That's interesting. So Dillion, I got a question for you. This is good, man. So, you got guys that you play with guys, you played against guys who have, been in NFL mini camps, who have been on, practice squads, who've tasted the league, guys who play major Division I football, right? And you're all here in the same area. And what I want to do is I want to talk about the mentality. What does the mentality of an arena football, a successful arena football player have to be? Like, if you're gonna make it, right? I mean, Coach had a long career. Now he's coaching. From your eyes, like, if you're gonna make it, what does your mentality have to be?
If you want to make it, man, you gotta. You can't look at the league as, oh, it's not the NFL, so I'm gonna bullcrap the off season. I'm gonna not take care of my body. I'm not gonna. You gotta be disciplined, man. It's still football, man, and you gotta really win where your feet at, and as if you're in the NFL or as if you're trying to get there, you can never get comfortable. So if you want to make it, man, you can't get comfortable. You gotta treat this as your NFL. You gotta win where your feet are. And like Coach always told me, man, he used to say out of sight, out of mind. Because coming out of college, I was always one of those guys, man. It's NFL, CFL, or man, I'm finna work. And so I start working, and it's like, you know what, man, I still got some life in me, man. I just got a different route. I gotta figure this out, man. And I was always hungry. You gotta stay hungry, man. The minute you get comfortable, somebody takes your job, and then it's not fun no more. Once you watch it from the sideline, and it's not fun no more, that's when you gotta hang it up, man. So you gotta stay hungry.
I love it.
You gotta stay hungry.
I love it, man. And to that point of staying hungry, what is a day and discipline? You talked about discipline earlier. What does the day in the life of an arena football player look like? Because a lot of people on the outside, they say, man, Kurt Warner, he was bagging groceries, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, he's playing in Super Bowls, you know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't look the same for everybody. So in your opinion, like, what does your off season look like? What does in season look like? Like, are dudes working other jobs? Like, what does that look like as a day in the life of an arena football player?
Absolutely, man. A lot of guys do work jobs, man. I work. I coach on the side, train on the side, and I do like a little Amazon Flex.
Okay.
Every now and then, like if it's not too hot, well, shoot, it's always hot in practice. But if I'm not hydrating properly, then I get out there and try to make a little extra bread. But day in the life, man, wake up every day around 5, meditate for about 10, 15 minutes, and then try to through those meditations, man, I do something called like the Wim Hof method.
Oh yeah, the breathing. Oh yeah,
absolutely. And as I'm breathing, after I get done with that third
the third round,
I try to visualize like the plays. Like, man, I'm big on film.
Yeah.
So I try to visualize those plays, man. The route, how he's gonna run it, how he's gonna set me up, what it's gonna feel like when I catch the interception, what I'm gonna have on when I catch the interception. Like I try to visualize and feel. Like really feel what it's gonna feel like making those plays and go from there, man. And after meditation, man, I go in there. That's when I starts with my diet, man. First thing on my stomach every morning, man, some spring water. Take some natural stuff, man. Shout out to Dr. Sebi, man.
Okay. Then, yes, sir.
And then I head to the facility, man. I like to try to get there, man. Our training room open around 6:30. So I try to get there around 6:15, man, and get ahead of the traffic, man, so I can get that one-on-one time with the trainer, man. Even if I'm not hurt, I know a lot of guys like try to stay away from the training room, but man, training room good for you, man. You don't have to go there just because you hurt, man. You just got to stay on top of your body.
That's right.
And
being proactive.
Yeah, get ahead, man. So 6:30, training room open. I'm there. We got meetings, practice. After practice, I do like some extra stuff, extra stretching, man. That's one thing I picked up on too, man. The older I got, man, that yoga just stretching. I'm telling, I be trying to tell the young guys, just stretch, man. They ask me why I always got energy, man. Just keep stretching and drinking water. You'll figure some of this other stuff out. Yeah. And after that, I'll go work a little bit, and I usually be done maybe around 3 or 4 every day, and after 4, man, I just at the house chilling, man, and just watching film, like doing little stuff like that.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love the breakdown of the day in the life. I mean, you're one of the defensive leaders on your team, right?
Yes, sir.
You're a veteran now. You ever feel like, hey, man, I'm doing this because I don't want him getting my job, or are you doing it because I want to be the very best I can be, or is it a combination of both?
Definitely a combination of both, man. There's a few games, man, I had some injuries, man. I don't really report it because I'm one of those guys, man, I feel like it's all mental. And if I go report it or I got to do this, then I'm constantly thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I tell myself, like, if I feel something, hey, you don't feel pain. You don't feel that. You don't feel that. You don't feel pain. Like, and because I've seen guys lose their spot, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know who's all gonna watch it. I done took a few spots too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From trying to chill and you know what? I'm gonna just take this game out. We ain't playing nobody. All right, man. Somebody get in there and snap. Man, you know what I mean? Coach Guy's one of those guys. He's gonna play who got the hot hand. So I don't never leave it open to even get took, man. So if I can play, I'm playing.
I love it, man. I love it. Coach, what makes the Arizona Rattlers different from any other organization? You've been a player, again, a coach. You've seen it. You've been on the recruiting trail. You've got a chance to see this game in almost every single facet. What makes the Arizona Rattlers different?
I just think the way the organization attacks the game, you know, from a coaching standpoint. I've been around the leagues. I've coached for different coaches and different organizations. From top to bottom, just the whole outfit is professional. There's a lot of teams that don't have their own facility that has everything in-house, from the trainer to the weight room to the field to the coach's office. You know, bringing the food there right after practice. I mean, so like, just that, this operations, just that gives you a chance to be successful.
Yeah.
I've been in outfits where you got to travel over here to get the food, and so the day gets long. You got to go over here for meetings. You got to go over here for the field. So it just becomes long, and then you start cutting corners because, you know, you just don't have the time to get everything in. You miss a meeting, it's just a lot on the team. Then you have a tired team. You're losing focus. You know, guys aren't motivated just because it's not a professional feeling from the start. And you're asking guys to put in extra time. You're asking guys to stay on the weights. You're asking guys to eat right. You're asking guys to do all these professional things, but you're not giving them a professional environment to thrive in. And so that's one of the biggest things that it starts off with, is having a professional environment where guys come in and take it serious. They feel professional. We treat them professional, and we get a professional product.
I love it, man. And to that point, also, you know, because I always believe that, look, man, if in order to understand what something is or where something is going, you have to understand where it's been.
Right.
And so one of the things I wanted to ask you, as being a seasoned veteran in this game, is when you start looking at the evolution, right? Like, you know, right now analytics is big in all sports. You know, the wearable technologies is going to be a multi-billion-dollar business very soon. When you start looking at nutrition, when you start looking at recovery, all these different travel, like you said, like, oh man, the food's over there, the players are over here. Like, what has been the biggest, you know, evolution for you in terms of, like, man, I remember when we used to do that when I was playing, but this right here is a game changer. Is it like a combination of all those things I mentioned, or is there one singular thing that you say, man, this is really different now?
I mean, it is a combination of everything, but, you know, one thing I left out was just the mindset, though, as well. When they walk in the door, the mindset that we set expectations about, you know, as far as what our expectations as coaches, and what you're going to get from us and what we expect from you. So, but again, these players are coming from major organizations, major Division I's, where they've seen, coaches and organizations attack the game professionally. So if your organization is not that, you're going to lose respect day one from these players. So that's about being able to set the expectations is also the way organizations ran. So
I love it. When you start talking about being a great player, right? Anybody who's ever done something great, and you can attest to this, Coach, has had to overcome something great, right? So as a player, what would you say has been the biggest thing that you've had to overcome in your career?
The biggest thing I had to overcome in my career, probably just.
It can be, and I'll say this, it can be college, it can be high school, life, whatever the case may be. Because some people have to experience adversity real young. But like, if you look at your career, what would you say is that biggest mountain that you've had to climb?
Biggest mountain, man, probably just the uncertainty. Like you really, sometimes, man, that blind faith, man, you really don't know what's next, man. But you're grinding hard for the smallest opportunity, and that's tough, man. When you don't know, and you just out there just grinding, and but you got bills though. But you got a dream, man. God gave you a dream, man, and you don't know. You just trust him, man. You just believe in having that faith. But bills don't stop, man. Life don't stop, man. The doubt doesn't stop, man. Those no's keep coming over and over again, and a lot of people can't handle it, man. It's only so much you can take, man, before like a lot of people break, man. But just overcoming what success looks like for you. Everybody's path is different, you know what I mean? You gotta know who you are. You gotta have confidence in yourself, you know what I mean? And something higher than yourself to understand, to know, man, this is my journey, this is my path, you know? So it's tough, man. I've seen it break people, man. I've seen some athletes, man, that I grew up with, man, who was the dude.
Yeah.
They come in, everybody looking at them, and they get cut from teams. They do this, and they don't know how to handle life, man. And they not the same mentally, man. They 30 pounds smaller now. They just, you know what I mean. So you gotta keep going, man. Whatever success means to you.
So, man, you said something powerful, man, that I was going to ask another question to Coach, but I got to sit here for a second, bro. You said uncertainty, the unknown, you use the term blind faith, grinding for just that little opportunity. Like, that's deep, bro. Like, that's deep. Like, of all the things you could have said, right? Like, oh, tough childhood, this, that, and the third. You just said, man, like, just that blind faith. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to continue to grind. That's what that is. Am I hearing you correctly?
Absolutely, man. Just because if that one yes happens, then your life changed forever. And then you said life, man. The older I got, man, I understood. Everybody had a rough childhood. Everybody got a story. Everybody this, everybody that. But man, I've been playing football for a minute now. Man, this is a game, man. This is fun. This is supposed to be fun. There's people out there really experiencing life in a whole nother way. It's a mom out there, single mom raising 4 or 5 kids, man. My mom, she's a single mom. I got 6 brothers.
God bless your mother.
That's life, you know what I mean? So when you look at it in that from that perspective, man, this is fun. This is supposed to be fun, man. This is a game. So like I never really, oh man, I'm going through this. Man, come on, nobody cares. You gotta, until you win, nobody cares. Nobody cares about your story. You go out there and do something great. Oh man, we didn't know you slept in your car. We didn't know you did. You know what I mean? So it's out there. It's people out there going through things. You know what I mean?
I love that.
It's football, man. Come on now.
Yeah, that's great perspective. That's great perspective. Coach, I got a question for you. So, early on in your career, right? Early on in any of our careers, we make mistakes.
Absolutely.
As a coach, an instructor, a leader, I call coaches the architects. They are the architects of the athletic experience. Like whether or not we like it or not, coaches are the one who set the framework for what happens.
Sure.
And so I want you to talk to us about maybe like the biggest mistake that you probably made earlier in your career, right? Or the most embarrassing mistake that you made early in your career that you look back and like, yo, man, I learned from that. And in a like fashion, talk to us about maybe your proudest moment as a coach as well.
I mean, you're always learning as a coach. So, biggest mistake, nothing really jumps out. I mean, I know I'd like to say I got better every year from just strategies and decision making. But I think the biggest thing I probably did early in my career that I got away from was just jumping around too much with philosophies or mindsets, strategies. It just, these guys are programmed and they're set on something, and if you just stick to your guns, they're going to get better. But when you're trying to be this one week and then that one week, you got a different philosophy, or you got a different, type of system. It's never going to work. These guys get better when they're in a environment that's the same, and they start to understand your philosophy, they start to understand your offense, your defense, your mindset, or whatever. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I mean? Somebody wins the Super Bowl somebody different every year.
Yeah.
So it's not one way is the only way it works. You just got to stay with the way that you believe is going to work. And then they buy in, and the buy-in power is where it's at. If you bleed something into them that they buy into, as a culture, or whatever system it is, that's where you get the powerful results.
I love that, man. One of my good friends, man, he told me something early on when I was coaching. He said, Joe, it's going to take you about 5 years, bruh, to come up with a philosophy. And as a young coach, I'm like, I ain't got time for that, bro. Like 5 years? Bro, you crazy, bro. Like, I'm going to figure this thing out right now, and we're going to do some things right now. And when I look back at that statement, he was right. I was like, yo, man, it takes you a while to find out, like you said, like who you are, and not be jumping around from, I Googled this one on the internet, and all this, they win over there, so we got to incorporate this one. Would you agree with that? Like in terms of like coming up with your philosophy?
Yes, but these men are smart, you know what I mean? So times evolve. That's one thing that I think as a coach I learned, because you say, well, this is how Danny White did it, and he had great success. Why did he all of a sudden go from 11-3 seasons and 12-5 seasons to 7-7, 7-8? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it always puzzles me. Like, so how do you have longevity as a coach? Do you just stick to the philosophy and the system and everything? Yes, but at the same time, if you're number one, people are studying you. I
like that.
If you're number one, you are the team, the person, the player that people are gunning for. And they are paying attention to what you're doing more than anything. So you gotta understand that, yes, you have to stick to your guns and your philosophies, but styles evolve and change, and the way you're being attacked, you got to be on top of that. And so there's gonna be some adjustments to your style, and your philosophies and stuff. And not overhaul, but you got to understand that people are going to catch on to what's working.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to start doing it as well. And then people are having more practice against what you're doing and going to be more successful.
You're right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's a fine line between just saying, I'm going to just do this, and this is how it works. Them coordinators and them coaches that, we're going to run the ball till, people catch up to it.
Yeah.
So at some point, there's a balance between evolving and just saying, this is my philosophy.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's a great point. What would you say, to put a bow on the prior question, what would you say is your proudest moment as a coach? When you look back at it, you say, man, like, I'm really glad that I was a part of this, or I'm really glad that this happened.
I mean, winning a championship you know, as a head coach was you know,
Yeah.
it was really, I mean, it's a feeling that you cannot really explain. And I think everybody should feel it in life, you know what I mean? But we went 15-1. I wasn't here. I've been to championship. That's why I felt so good, because I've been in the championship with Arizona twice, and we lost both of them.
Yeah.
As a coach, so to finally put it all together in that big moment in that game was huge, you know. So, and it was really a come from behind with a minute and 50 seconds left, down 12.
Yeah.
So it was just a crazy game. So I'd say that's one of my proudest moments for sure.
That's excellent. What year was that? Remind us what year that was.
This was 2019.
19. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
You said down 12?
We were down 12.
Yeah.
Well, how much time left?
There was a minute 50, and they had the ball because I threw a fade, and they picked it. So they were on their own 2-yard line.
Yeah.
With the ball, minute 50, and we were down 12. We picked six. The MAC linebacker picked sixed it, ran it in. We got the onside kick.
Yeah.
On top of that, then went down with 7 seconds left and scored.
And did the thing. Oh man.
Oh, that's lit.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a crazy. It was a miraculous like finish, man.
Yeah, that's great, man. Congratulations again on that. To be able to hang that up there, man. That's great. When you start talking about Dillion, when you start talking about the Arena Football League and the players that are in this league, what would you say is the number one most important mental skill to have, right? Is it confidence? Is it being able to focus? Is it being resilient? Is it having a growth mindset? Is it having a, hey, like, you know, that was the past, like, let's go. What would you say if you had to pick any superpower in terms of a mental skill? What is the number one that an arena football player has to have?
I don't think it's one. I think it's two, man. Confidence. Definitely got to have confidence, man. You got to believe. You don't believe, it's over with, man. You're going to play scared, and when you play scared, man, bad things happen. Confidence, and, man, it's really a gift to be able to forget, man, because a lot of guys, man, make a lot of plays like, oh, I got 3 catches for 3 touchdowns. And then, like, you have the tendency to ease up. Or if you're playing good as a defense, you get 7 to 8 stops. And we're up by 28, you get the relaxing and stuff. So, man, confidence and the ability to forget, man. Next play, next play, next play.
Yeah.
Next play, it don't matter. Next play, man. And both of those two, man, those are superpowers.
I love that, man. Hey, you got to make that a T-shirt. Y'all heard it here first. He said the gift to forget. I've never heard it put like that, but
Absolutely.
It's a gift. Why? Like, explain the gift part.
Gift, man, because it's a blessing and a curse, man. Because if you one of those guys, man, that forgetting everything, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You gotta take it personal. You definitely gotta take it personal.
Yeah.
But next play, meaning like every play could be that play.
Yeah.
But if you're still dwelling on the past, man, you're not gonna win the next play.
I love it, man. I love it. Coach, fill in the blank. You ready?
Ready.
Let's go. So the best players do what on a consistent basis?
Compete. Non-stop. Everything they do. Compete.
I love it, man. I love it. In like fashion, pretend coach ain't here. The best, fill in the blank. The best coaches do what on a consistent basis?
Best coaches. They win on a consistent basis. They win the moment. They win the hour. They win the day. They win the. You gotta win, man. It's life, man. So you gotta win at everything. People love winners. People hire winners.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta win, man. Nobody cares if you ain't winning.
I love it.
The best coaches win.
I love it. I love it. So as we get ready to close, once again, we're here with Siaha Burley, Coach Siaha Burley, and we're here with Dillion Winfrey of the Arizona Rattlers. Thank you all again for coming, man. This has been really great, really insightful. As we get ready to close, you got a room. Coach, we'll start with you. Actually, we're going to start with you, Dillion, because we started with you. Now we're going to end with Coach. You have a room full of 10,000 people, athletes and high performers, and you can tell them whatever you want in terms of encouraging them, whether it's their faith, whether it's in life, as a performer, whatever it is, you got 5 minutes to talk to them. What are you telling them, man, in this 5 minutes?
Telling them, man, don't let me get sensitive right here, man. I'm gonna
No, you good,
hold
bro.
it together.
You good, bro.
But no, man, you gotta don't ever stop learning. Don't ever stop believing. Don't believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Find something bigger than yourself to believe in. Don't ever stop believing, man. You gotta believe.
Yeah.
Believe. I'm talking about like on a whole nother level, man. You gotta trust. You gotta trust your path and understand that there's only one of you in the world. It's only one of you, and when you understand that, you take each moment in, man, and take it step by step and understand, man, that whatever life comes at you with, man, you're built for it.
Yeah.
You're built for it, and you might not be able to see the end all the time, but you just know if you just keep putting together good habits, man. Good habits make eventually that's who you are. And I had a coach tell me, man, all the time. It was just like if you're constantly doing this or constantly doing that, man, at some point that's who you are.
Yeah.
So man, you gotta get around the right people.
Yeah.
That's huge. I should have said that first, man, because people can kill your dreams. People that you believe in, people that you look up to, could tell you something that can make you go a different route.
Facts.
So you gotta get people around you, man, that understand, man, and don't take nothing personal. Because a lot of people that love you gonna tell you to do some things or hang them up or go get a job. God didn't give them that vision.
Yeah.
He gave it to you. So just because they're your family, man, they still love you. Man, you can't take it personal.
Yeah.
But you can't listen to people who gave up on their dreams. And we're not even just talking about sports, man. It's people who grew up wanting to be a doctor, grew up wanting to be a lawyer, grew up being something that was gonna make them a lot of money. And somewhere that path, they gave up because of someone said or because of one no. So man, you gotta believe, man, get around the right people, man, and even if you fall short, man, you still won, because one thing about this journey, man, you're gonna meet a lot of people, you're gonna shake a lot of hands, and you're gonna end up where you're supposed to be, man, and you're gonna probably be happier, you know what I mean, than you ever thought you would be, man, being where you thought you were.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes that's why I thank God all the time, man, or for the people out there that believe in the universe, God, whatever you believe in, you gotta thank Him for the yeses and the nos, because there's a lot of things that we want out there, what we think we want, that shoot, we really don't want, man. I seen an artist the other day. He said, man, y'all can have this rapping stuff. I don't want it no more, man. You know, you wake up in this, people all in your face for cameras every day. We think we want a lot of things, man. So you just gotta learn to love your life.
Yeah.
It's only one of you in the world, man.
Yeah. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. Can't add nothing to that, bro. So I appreciate you sharing. I can already tell that for you are somebody that you have faith. You have a lot of faith. I can just tell by the way you talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can hear it, man, in your voice. And so I really appreciate you sharing that insight. And for those listening, man, like, you really, please listen to what Dillion said on repeat, because I think it's very powerful. So I appreciate you sharing that. And like fashion coach, you got the microphone. You got 10,000 athletes and high performers, and you can talk to them about anything you want. You can talk to them about anything. How are you encouraging the room?
You know, hard act to follow right here.
Yeah.
You know, with Dillion, but you know, similar to what he was saying. You know, follow your passion, man. Whatever it is in life. I've been around football a long time. The biggest thing that's helped me is I've never let the situation or people define me. I've set my own definition of who I am, even in my mistakes, you know, because people are going to define you based on, you know, your career, what you do here and that. A moment, you know, people try to define you. They try to tell me who I am, and I never let people define me. And I followed my passion. You know, you know, like he was saying, people try to tell you, go here, do this, do that. You know, you should leave football, arena football, go here, go, you know. Don't let people define you. You define your happiness. You define who you are, even through your mistakes, you know. So that's one of the things that's helped me keep my confidence, is I have my own definition of who I am. And a lot of people have aspirations and dreams and hopes, but I think especially for young people, have to understand you have to already be living in the moment. I was a head coach before I became a head coach. I moved like a head coach. I thought like a head coach.
Yes.
Come on now.
You want to be that NFL, well, you have to move like that.
Yeah.
You have to eat like that. You have to train like that. You have to already be in the moment of who you're going to be.
Nice.
It just doesn't, you can't wait till you get there and say, okay, when I become a head coach, or I become an NFL player, this is how I'm going to move, this is what I'm going to do. And I think that's one of the biggest things young people don't understand, is that you have to already be in the moment of who you want to be. And believe that and live that way, and be happy with the process. And be happy with the struggle and the journey, because that's where the blessings are. It's in the journey and the lessons along the way. Regardless of where you end up, you know, if you define yourself and you enjoy the journey, you won. You know, so that's what it's about, because sports are very subjective. You know, you may be, I know many players that have played for me or alongside me that can kill the next level, you know, but because of, you know, a coach didn't like you or this. I've been in coaching rooms. I've heard 5 guys talk about one player and all have different perspectives, you know? So at that point, it's like, when I first got in the coaching world, I was like, man, I see this guy this way, they see him this way. I'm like, man, you know, there's no, you know what, because you're supposed to be there, you're gonna be there, you know? And the same thing with the coaching room, you know? I know players, I know coaches that can be great on the next level, but whether they get there, you know, or not, you know, it's subjective. So you can't let that, you know, kill your dream or weigh you down or define your happiness, you know? So that's one of the biggest things I've got from, you know, being around football for so long and seeing that, you know, so, you know, don't be discouraged, you know, from one door closing, the next one opens, you know. I got to the point now where it's like, I'm excited when door closes. I know something's coming down the
new
stretch
chapter,
for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, the door from Jacksonville closed. I can't wait what God got for me next. You know, so, and then I'm here with Arizona, with a great franchise. So, I mean, that's the main thing in the sports world, because it like he was saying, psychologically, it can wear you down. It really can. If you're not mentally strong, if you're not happy within and really defining yourself, you know, it's a whirlwind. You know, it's one day you got a job, the next day you don't. You know, so the psychological battle is huge, and your mindset attacking the thing is where it starts and ends.
I love it, man.
Go ahead. To piggyback off that, man, just because there's probably somebody out there that's gonna be hungry and they just listening just to see how we think, you know what I mean? So he said you gotta be that first. Say he was a coach way before he was coaching. To anybody out there listening, man, this not even just sports, man. Whatever you want to be. If you want to be a lawyer, anything, man, wake up and be that, man. Put a suit on every day, even if you ain't. Put that suit on. Grab that suitcase. Just walk around with. I'm telling you, you're gonna start being. You're gonna eventually, you know what they say, fake it till you make it, man. There's gonna come a time, man. Hey, well, you gonna do it, man. So, yeah, that's real right there. I like that.
I love it, man. I love it. This was really good. I learned a lot just from listening to y'all. I was inspired by listening to y'all. And so, man, God bless you guys, and thank you again for joining the podcast. And so, for former Rattler great and current Coach Siaha Burley, and defensive specialist, DB extraordinaire, Dillion Winfrey. I'm Josiah Igano with the All Things Performance Podcast. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.